So as most of the month's been spent waiting for the baseboards and down at the club preparing for Newcastle's visit to Motherwell, Scotland, this is what's been on the workbench in between this month. First off is a couple of these Airfix stroke Dapple wagon kits. First one being the brake van, which is built up there with the lights on the back. A little bit of light weathering on that. That's basically for a train I'm working on for the club layouts. It's going to be a cement train based on the ones that operate over the Waverley route to Oxwell Mains. That's the brake van for that set. And also for that set, I know the Bachmann ones are coming out at some point, but I got myself a press ring as well. These were, I think they were on 2 for a tenner, so I picked up that as well and built that up, put the detailing on. If I turn that round, you can see the detailing of the pipes and stuff that are picked out in yellow, and also weathered that down, weathered that down with some cement dust, and just I tend to dry brush my weathering onto wagons and stuff. I'm not quite confident enough to make a start on the locos yet, but I'll get to that once I've weathered a couple more wagons. And on the weathering front, I started with my Bachmann high fits, of which I've gone through 5 of these now, just the standard releases, dulling them down and weathering them to a similar level to the Kernow special editions and the 3-packs I bought to form the scrap train on Leith Central. These have been just weathered down with dry brushing with black, with a little bit of black, sleeper grime, slate grey, and also just a couple of generic browns, like there's a wood brown and stuff in amongst it, and that's just dry brushed on top of a black wash and then rubbed away with a piece of kitchen towel, and that leaves it tucked into the corners. If we're going close there, you can see how it's tucked in around the door and things like that, and I'm quite happy with the results on them. Nicely dulled down from the, as I say, there's still some work to be done on the insides of them, but I'm planning on putting loads into these anyway, so I haven't weathered the insides yet until I decide on what I'm doing with the loads, because I've got a load of loose sleepers sat there off old pieces of track, which I'm going to break down to create loads for these wagons, fully painted up and stuff. And the other ones I've been weathering are the recently purchased turbots. I've got one of these left to weather, so I might do a video on weathering that one. Again, same as I did with the high fits as well, but what I've done is I've gone in around the doors with a little bit of darker weathering around there and just put a light dusting on the inside as well. Bogey's still a bit shiny on that. I might put another layer of chassis sleeper grime onto there, but as I say, just a bit of weathering to keep me occupied while I was waiting for the baseboards to arrive, and in between club nights doing work on Newcastleton and test running and the like. I'll also get onto the locals and fit some detailing parts too now. The recent arrival, I've been fitting the detailing parts to them, so let's go and have a look at them, shall we?
Yes, the club members, we've seen it for the first time, we've seen it, not at all.
So the first local to have the detailing parts fitted is the Heljan 26, number 26040. To this will fit the ploughs to one end and all the piping and things. As I say, Leith Central's going to be an end-to-end, but the idea is it'll work in and then run back light engine to say Haymarket or Craig and Tinney, and then work back out again to Leith Central the other way around to work trains back out again. So I've fitted the detailing parts one because they just look so much better with snow ploughs, do these Class 26s. It's a fairly simple detailing pack to fit. The only downside being to fit the plough, you need to completely remove the NEM coupler from the bogie, which is a little bit complex. There may be a simpler way of doing that. I did try fitting the Bachmann one-piece plough into the NEM pocket, but it just didn't look right for the Class 26. So I went with the removing the NEM pocket and fitting the full snow ploughs and coupling hook to one end of this 26. So looking forward to running that on the engineers' wagons that have been weathering down. This will get a coat of weathering eventually once I've built up the confidence on the wagons. The next wagons, coincidentally, as they're packed next to it to get the weather treatment, will be these VEA vans. I built these a while ago from Parkside Kits, and with Bachmann having them in the range soon, hopefully can increase this rake upwards, and they'll serve in and out of Leith Central on some sort of traffic that will make up for them. But I do like these little wagons, so I'm going to give them a weathering up. And as I said, one of them's fitted with the, I think it's the green one's fitted with the wrong transfers, so I'll use some weathering to hide the transfers on that one, and we'll get those weathered up and looking the part, ready for Leith Central once we get started on the baseboard. baseboard for Leith Central has arrived. This is the baseboard top. I'm going to construct some legs for this and also get some holes drilled for wiring and also get the top marked up. That'll form the March update. But what I've just done now for a quick point of reference is I've laid out some track on there which would be sort of where the platforms are going. So you can see there the two main platforms. They'll continue on to the next board obviously, which will be into the L shape. Also there you can see I've laid out the, if I move around here, I've laid out the floor plan for the station building. That's where that's going to be placed. That'll be all up at platform height, but also you can see the rough spacing of the platforms there. I might widen out that gap in the middle and make the middle platform a bit wider. All the points are positioned so they don't, I just wanted to double check before I put the legs on it that they weren't going to interfere with any of the underneath bracing. I'll show you some of that bracing in a minute. This is from, I'll put a link in the description to the people I ordered my baseboards from. That's mainly down to time and space constraints for building the tops myself. I'm going to make my own legs for it, which as I say will form the March update. But just for now, there's just have a look at the, as I say, that's the rough crossover space. I have checked the length of that with a Bachmann Class 40. That fits into that head shunt no problem, with space for buffer stops, and I'm going to use I saw some at Model Rail Scotland of the modern type that they've got in Edinburgh, Waverley and Glasgow Queen Street, so I'm going to use some of them on Leith Central. They'll be hidden under the roof. I'm also making a couple of changes to the roof for visual effect. I'm going to expand the roof out by 6 centimetres to form straight onto a backboard, which will go at that side furthest away from you. That'll be part of the building process on the board. Also, now I've got the dimensions for this board and how it will fit into this room, I can now look at getting the other one on order and on its way while I work on this one. The end up here will be where it feeds onto the next board, and there will be sort of like a joining system that we use on the club layouts that I'm going to transfer across onto this one, which is basically through wing nut bolts and some positioning pins. Also there'll be like plugs between the layout for wiring, etc. Anyone's got any ideas on wiring between boards or as a system that they use, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I've had a couple of suggestions from the club and also some willing helpers on that. So we'll look to getting that wired soon. And also there you see the Leith Central station building there. As I say, I've got the floor plan out and also the building plan. I was looking at that. That's just a rough comparison to how that would fit across the board. That would fit to one side like that, obviously the other way around at the other end, to give you some idea of the size of it on the board, and also some idea of the size of the overall roof. That roof is going to be a really big build, but the idea is to start from baseboard upwards. So we'll get the legs onto this on the next update, and then we'll move on to fitting caulking and getting the track down, fitting the platforms, which I'm going to use a balsa wood surround and fill them in with polystyrene, I think, with a plastic hard top. And then for the curves I'm going to use sort of like corrugated cardboard to build it up because it's easier to shape, and also glue things too. So we'll build it up from baseboard level, but that's just a rough idea of where we're going with this board. The second board, as I say, will go on order, as well all of the fiddle yards at the same time, all from the same supplier. I'll put that link in the description, but we'll just go and have a look at some recent arrivals from Model Rail Scotland, and hope you enjoyed the little snippets I managed to get in between exhibiting at the show with the club. Didn't get a chance to look round and get as many shots as I would like to as I have in previous videos, but that was just down to the fact of we needed to operate the layout as well. And it was a very enjoyable day. Just saw quite a few people kicking around and having a good look at the layouts there. Some interesting questions and good conversations with fellow modellers, and also picked up a couple of nice bargains as well, which we'll take a look at now.
It's a freight yard. And there's a motorway there. Look at the stuff like that. Look. Max. Yeah. But actually look at the stuff. Look at all the stuff that they've actually put. Here comes a train. That's really DC sound. See, hear it? There's one there. Another DC sound one. Wait, it's double. Oh, there's more. Network see. Network
Of course, visiting a big exhibition like Model Rail Scotland with the club, there's always going to be a few purchases, and this is the first of them. It's a renumbered Bachmann B1 as 61243, which was based at Copley Hill around the time of the club's layout, and named as well there. So I think this is actually one that Hornby released as well, that it's been renumbered to, but I got that at a bargain price. There was some really good models at really good prices. Runs well. We had a couple of runs. He had a couple of runs around now. Newcastleton working at the up-stopping service, so we're fully running on that one, and it just needs some lamp irons and a crew fitting, and a little bit of weathering. And with that, I'll have the B1 for the cement train I mentioned earlier in the workbench part of the video. So that will be paired with the cement train, and also looking forward to the Acro scale cement wagons, which means I can pair this up with a V2 double heading cement trains, which is, I've seen photos of that at Rixton Junction, and that's a train I'd like to model. Not specifically this B1 that was working it, but I've also seen that B1 online as well, and B1s are a favourite steam loco of mine, so there will be more B1s in the future. Anyway, we'll move in order of age to the next purchase, which is the split head code class 40, number D338. This is a standard Bachmann model. Just need to get round fitting them side grills properly. You see it's just standing a bit proud there at the moment. That's just held in place with double-sided tape at the moment, just for while I had it in the case, just for the purpose of the video. Really nice model, a lot of bulk to this model. It just looks powerful standing still. I always like the class 40s, and to get one of these at around the £100 mark was a steal. They're retailing somewhere up around the 150 mark at the moment. So picked that one up while I saw it, because as I say, they're getting quite. They seem to sell out quite quickly to the class these newer tooling class 40s. So I picked that one up while I could. I'd like to get a split box BR Blue one of these as well for running on Leith Central, but I picked that one up, and it's carrying the head code on one end for the Cardiff to Glasgow, for Cardiff Glasgow Express. So I'll look into modelling the train formation for that as well long term. And the final new loco arrival is possibly the bagging of the show for me specifically. This is a Kernel limited edition class 47, 47973, and that's number 31651Z. It's a limited edition of Kernel models in the Midland Maroon. It only wore this livery for about 2 years, only 1 year with the nameplate applied, and it just so happens that year falls directly in the middle of the period I'm modelling. So I picked that up, and that will have some outings on the Transpennine services on Leith Central, swapping and changing around with another model I've got on the way to me now, which is the 47-4 in provincial livery. They will be the principal 247s on those diagrams. So that's got a definite place on Leith Central. I've researched that, and it's got photos of it on the North Wales coast and also on Transpennine substitutions at Warrington. So not exactly on the specific trains that I'm modelling, or trains I've invented, sorry, but it has been around that area. It was based at crude diesel at the time, so it is logical that it may have ended up on those workings. So that one is a definite for everyday working of Leith Central. And the detail on this one is fantastic. I'm going to do a full review on this, but as I say, the bogey detail there just for a quick slot. So I'll get the detailing pack fitted to that, and then we'll get the nameplates fitted, and I'll do you a full review on that model.
Okay, it's not